Hey all, Scott here. Can you imagine what life is gonna be like in 2019? We'll have more air, no more murder, immortality, and like 2 subscription services. So I was eating cereal this morning and it was fucking dreadful, thanks for asking. Oh my god, I'm only $7.99 a month away from not watching anything. Subscription services are a corporation's best friend. Why get money for one thing once when you could get money for one thing lots? This is the hip new thing now in the entertainment industry, paying a monthly fee to access some jank service online. Companies are trying to attach a subscription model to every medium out there: film, music, video games, storage units. It's all about obtaining a continuous flow of money regardless of the product offered. As an example, you buy one $20 digital movie on the PlayStation Store. First off, let me add to my list of people I don't trust. And secondly, that was just a one and done purchase. You paid $20 for one movie, it's time to move on, it's over. But with a subscription service that offers movies, you have to pay a monthly fee to watch the films on it. The monthly fee is usually pretty low, which makes this the more attractive option to most people. A lot of people just want to be able to watch movies whenever they want. They don't really care what movie it is, they just want something to combat the loneliness. But as the months roll by, you keep paying the fee. People who would only buy a few movies a year end up continuously paying for these services they might forget to use after a couple of weeks. That's how they get ya. I always have $5 left over at the end of the month. Might as well give it to Apple TV Plus for doing nothing. They earned it. Of course, the subscription model wouldn't be offered if people weren't supporting it. It works really well for a lot of things. Some truly offer value that make them a no-brainer to subscribe to. And then some just taste bad. Subscription services are flooding our screen bricks. Every single company thinks their shit doesn't stink and they can make their own service. CBS All Access is pretty much the same thing as Saltines Plus. Who wanted this? Who said cut? Now, if CBS had a subscription service, man, if only. The whole subscription trend in the industry truly started with Netflix. So, Netflix, right? It was all about renting DVDs online delivered by mail. No late fees, what an idea. Because everybody knew the worst aspect of going to the video store to rent a movie was going to the video store to rent a movie. But after a while, Netflix started to offer something amazing, something that changed the entertainment industry forever: streaming video on demand. Videos on demand was and still is the most terrifying term of all time. To me, it means those elusive movies for sale through your cable subscription. I felt like if I wasn't careful enough, I'd accidentally buy a college semester worth of movies. But no, you see, streaming video on demand through Netflix was so much breezier. Offered as a part of your Netflix membership, you could instantly watch so many different movies and TV shows through the power of Netgear. Now, I jumped on the Netflix train around 2011 or so. I nabbed a free trial, downloaded the Netflix app on my Wii, and enjoyed so much content. Pretty much almost any movie or TV show you searched up on Netflix, it was there. They had such a wealth of stuff available to watch, and for only $9 a month, I knew I saved this for something. Netflix is amazing. Netflix is okay. Various companies saw how well Netflix was doing, how much people started preferring just having a Netflix subscription compared to just a cable box, and overall the money that could be made from an ongoing subscription model. And now, like, what, I have to subscribe to like 5 different apps to get all the stuff I used to get with just Netflix? Hulu used to be a website focused on offering episodes of TV shows for free the day after they aired. Now, it's just a shittier Netflix. Amazon Prime Instant Video. Yeah, everybody has it because everybody has Amazon Prime. I enjoy spending $119 a year for faster shipping on products, but apparently a part of that offer, I get Amazon's own version of Netflix. Listen, you take Instant Video out of my Amazon Prime membership, I wouldn't even blink. And then of course we have the newcomers, Apple TV Plus and Disney Plus. Now, Disney Plus was created because Disney owns 29% of the world, the other 71% is water. And they obviously felt like they had enough content of their own to push their own service rather than just license it all to Netflix. That's fair enough. Now, Apple made Apple TV Plus because, I don't know, they were bored. And then we have HBO Now, CBS All Access, Starz, Peacock, DC Universe. Oh, for fuck's sake. I hate this. It's just irritating. All these corporations are pumping everybody up like, look guys, we're making our own subscription service. It's gonna be great. When they used to put all their content on Netflix and Hulu a few years ago. How am I supposed to respond to that? Like, oh, yeah, I can't wait to spend $10 more a month on something I used to have access to, but you ripped away from me. Oh, yeah! So I maintain the opinion that Netflix is the best overall. I think it offers the best variety of content with both movies and TV shows for all different kinds of people. Pretty much anybody and everybody would be fairly content with a subscription to Netflix. However, if you can't find a TV show you want to watch, that means it's probably on Hulu. Hulu makes me wince. Like, they've got an incredible roster of TV shows on here, and like 2 movies, but I despise how the app is set up. Whew, I can see only 3 options at once and only see 1 image for the one I'm selecting. I should be getting an allowance for browsing this. I do like that you can subscribe to Hulu with advertisements included for less money. I subscribe to a lot of adless stuff, so I don't see a ton of commercials anymore, and sometimes I feel like I'm out of the loop on the ads people hate watching. Amazon Prime Video. No. Okay, first off, Amazon. Why are you even trying to compete against Netflix if you're not even going to invest in making a decent video player? And then the selection, oh my god. They should rename Amazon Prime Video to Puppet Movies and Friends. It seems that pretty much anybody can make their content available through Amazon Prime, and it shows. But what if the show you want to watch isn't on any of these services? Well, it's probably on one of the apps nobody gives a shit about. Netflix used to be incredible, I loved it, but now I feel like companies just keep pulling their stuff off just to make their own streaming service, and I personally find it kinda dumb in some cases. Take for example, The Office. Became more popular than some religions in recent years, and you wanna know why? Because it was on Netflix. And then NBC said, we'll make our own streaming service and put The Office on it exclusively. Stop it. The Office experienced a huge resurgence in popularity because of Netflix. Everybody has Netflix, and seeing The Office's icon mocking you on the app constantly, well, everybody's bound to watch the full series 3 times in a row at some point. Now, forcing people to subscribe to an infinitely inferior streaming service with less original content and less old content, which costs roughly the same price, well, say goodbye to the growing popularity of The Office, NBC. Locking this show behind your own app makes it less likely people who weren't even born when The Office premiered are going to discover it for the first time. I mean, Peacock is fundamentally going to be a streaming service for The Office at this point. Who's subscribing to this thing for Punky Brewster? You'll appeal to people who are already fans of the show, but you're making it a lot harder for people to become new fans of it this way. And then there's DC Universe, a streaming service for DC Comics content. Why? At least with Marvel content, that's a part of Disney Plus, which is less expensive than DC Universe, and it includes a larger variety of content. See, this is how I see things. DC has their own streaming service, great, good for them. I knew they could do it someday. They get all the money from people subscribing to that. But the fact a lot of this content is locked behind a DC-centric streaming service, that means it's only going to appeal to DC fans. For what reason would somebody who's never seen DC content before subscribe to DC Universe? Loneliness. See, if DC partnered with Netflix or Hulu or even, yeah, they wouldn't immediately get as much money from that, but they'd get more exposure, more people would be able to watch this stuff and have chances to become fans of DC content, and thus you'd sell more merchandise and movie tickets. All these companies think they can have their own streaming service, and it's just getting kind of ridiculous. If you need one service, just get Netflix. You get the most variety and good content with that subscription. Hulu is fine. I think they have a better roster of TV shows, but I hate browsing the Green Lagoon. And then Amazon Prime Video, I always see myself saying, oh shit, this exists? But of course, that's just the movies and TV show subscription services. You know how things roll around here. I love all things this, and yeah, video games are starting to be pushed into the subscription service model. See, pretty much most of the big game companies are pushing their own services, and I admit the idea of having a Netflix-style app for games is amazing in concept. Movies and video games are far more different than they initially seem. See, I keep subscribing to Netflix because hey, I get thousands of movies and TV shows I can just pop on in the background while I'm busy evading, or I can watch some stuff at the edge of my seat. Movies are much more flexible in terms of how you can consume them. They're much less of a time sink. There's not much of investment you have to make to watch one. Playing video games requires you to be much more deliberately invested. Many games take 10 plus hours to play through, and it's not like I can just throw a video game on in the background. I'm actively controlling it that entire time. To me, I'm much more invested in picking a game I'm gonna sit down and play compared to picking a movie I'm gonna watch. I don't know, man. Well, let's take a look at the video game subscription services, see if they can win me over. Well, here we have EA Access. $5 a month for access to the entirety of EA. We can play FIFA 20, FIFA 19, FIFA 18, FIFA 17, FIFA 16, FIFA 15. Yes, so EA Access gives us free trials / early access to new EA games, as well as an unlimited supply of EA classics. Unlimited equals 30. The game library is more robust on Xbox One. There are some Xbox 360 titles available a part of that subscription, but here on PlayStation 4, I'm gonna throw it out there, EA, you did it. You officially changed the definition of value. Having the past couple of Maddens and FIFAs take up a good chunk of the huge collection of games available is like Netflix having the past 5 months of the Weather Channel available. These games are downloaded onto your system and you can do all kinds of things like play them. There's just not a great variety of games here, and most of the games available for free, a part of the subscription, aren't worth anything anymore. On top of that, a lot of these games aren't good. No, maybe $5 a month, but we can get it for $30 a year, and okay. I mean, the trial access to the newer game says up to 10 hours can be played for free, and that's pretty generous. I think there's some value to that. Just like how there's some value to death, like thank God there's no EA Access in the afterlife. Well, Ubisoft has their own take on the subscription service, Uplay Plus. It's all about spending. $15 a month makes this one of the most expensive subscription services, and all for what? Uno? Rayman Forever? Uplay Plus features over 100 titles, most of which are significantly less than $15 right now. Sure, the service includes recently released Ubisoft titles as a part of your subscription, but they're Ubisoft titles. Like, those things go on sale a week before they release. Also, I don't know who would ever say, man, you know what? I love Ubisoft, and only Ubisoft. I wish there was a subscription service for me. Oh my god. Contrary to popular belief, there is such a thing as too much Ubisoft. Well, let's jump into the big boys. Here we have PlayStation Now, Sony's big subscription service. This is primarily focused around streaming the games to your console or PC. It's truly like Netflix for games, and just like Netflix, it's fine. PlayStation Now was pretty much created as Sony's way of making PlayStation 3 games playable on, God forbid, something other than the PlayStation 3. It had a bizarre infrastructure, which makes playing its games on other hardware difficult to do. So they had to take the hardware and stream the games being played over to your hardware, and the end result was surprisingly alright. Not great, but far from unplayable. There are a few PS2 and PS4 games playable here, but the bulk of the lineup is PS3, and it's great. They have Ratatouille for PlayStation 3, you don't see that on EA Access. The graphical quality is almost like a YouTube video. You know how some videos, when you stream them, look a little washed out or blurry? Yeah, that's PlayStation Now games. Now the PS4 titles can be downloaded to your system, which is a nice feature, and the price point is rock solid. $10 a month with actual games people want to play right now getting thrown on the service recently. Yeah, back when PlayStation Now first started up, I remembered you needed a subscription, and on top of that you had to rent most of the games? Oh man, how could one Sony be so stupid? Right now, PlayStation Now streaming is imperfect, but it works fine enough. For games that require pinpoint precision, playing them through the internet is a death sentence, but games that are a little looser with how you control them work alright. But you see, streaming games has always worked, but it's never been ideal in my opinion. That's where Xbox Game Pass comes in, the messiah of gaming subscription services. Game Pass has a library that is crazy good. Pretty much any of the Xbox exclusives you want, including all the recently released ones day and date alongside the standard release. Tons of third-party offerings, old games, new games, games from all different kinds of genres, all downloadable to your console, playable offline. Best part about it, it's $10 a month and is usually on sale for like one. Well, there's also Nintendo Switch Online. We get a bunch of jank NES games for signing up and some pretty solid SNES games as well. It's $20 a year, okay, it's fine. All right, so let's wrap everything up with these subscription services. All right, Netflix, they're pretty good. Not as good as they used to be, but hey, none of us are, so it gets a B. All right, Hulu, that's a mighty fine selection of TV shows they have there, and their layout reminds me that I still feel pain. It legitimately stops me from using the app most of the time, so they get a C. Amazon Prime Video. So first off, navigating Amazon Prime on any device is a half-baked slog of a time, and the selection is Netflix and Hulu's table scraps. D. All right, Apple TV Plus, you get a Y for why? Disney Plus, not bad. They have a lot of content, but I still feel like Netflix is superior because it has a wider range of content. I feel like Disney Plus caters to a lot of specific fans, but I still feel like Netflix is better for generally everybody. So, B-. EA Access. So this is one of the most unnecessary subscriptions of all time. EA doesn't create a broad enough range of content to really warrant having a subscription. It would have gotten an F, but the fact that it's $30 a year and you have a lot of trials of newly released games where you can play for up to 10 hours, D-. You did it, EA. Uplay Plus will go down in history as Ubisoft's expensive subscription service that absolutely nobody subscribed to. I've been waiting for the past 10 seconds to give another D-. PlayStation Now. Back in the day, it was laughingstock. Right now, it's not bad. B-. Now Xbox Game Pass is pretty much a better version of PlayStation Now. You don't get as many games as you do with PlayStation Now, but you download all the games to your system, which means you don't have to worry about the problems that arise with streaming. You get a ton of new releases, and with PlayStation Now, the newest games that are on that service are about a year old, so B+. And Nintendo Switch Online. It is $20 a year, which means it gets a pass. So subscription services, some may offer value, some definitely not. It can be really convenient to have all this content available to you for a small monthly fee, but it can get really irritating how every single company thinks they can start their own. Also, Netflix doesn't accept check by mail, what the hell? Now, I personally think video games aren't the greatest fit for the Netflix model. Even with Game Pass, you have to wait for the games to download, and with streaming, there's too many downsides. It still takes a while to load on PlayStation Now, and the quality takes a bit of a hit, and there is input lag. But overall, my main takeaway about all of this is... we don't need this many!